But I find this fascinating. So let's talk about the pleasure-pain balance and addiction. And I've heard you use this seesaw or balance scale analogy before, and I think it's a wonderful one that really, for me, clarified what addiction is, at least at the mechanistic level.
Yeah, so to me, one of the most significant findings in neuroscience in the last 75 years is that pleasure and pain are co-located, which means the same parts of the brain that process pleasure also process pain, and they work like a balance. So when we feel pleasure, our balance tips one way. When we feel pain, it tips in the opposite direction. And one of the overriding rules governing this balance is that it wants to stay level. So it doesn't want to remain tipped very long to pleasure or to pain. And with any deviation from neutrality, the brain will work very hard to restore a level balance, or what scientists call homeostasis. And the way the brain does that is with any stimulus to one side, there will be a tip in equal and opposite amount to the other side.
It's like the principal laws of physics.
Yes, right. So like I like to watch YouTube videos. When I watch YouTube videos of American Idol, it tips to the side of pleasure. And then when I stop watching it, I have a come down, right? Which is a tip to the equal and opposite amount on the other side. And that's that moment of wanting to watch one more YouTube video, right?
Well, yeah, and I just want to interject there. So this moment of wanting to watch another that is associated with pain, I think, are we always aware of that happening? Because you just described it in a very conscious way.
Right.
But when I indulge in something I enjoy, I'm usually thinking about just wanting more of that thing.
Yes.
I don't think about the pain. I just think about more.
Right. So really excellent point, because we're mostly not aware of it. And it's also reflexive. So it's not something that consciously happens or that we're aware of unless we really begin to pay attention. And when we begin to pay attention, we really can become very aware of it in the moment. Again, it's like a falling away, like that, you're on social media and, you get a good tweet of something, and then you can't stop yourself because there's this awareness, a latent awareness that as soon as I disengage from this behavior, I'm going to experience a kind of a pain, right? A falling away, a missing that feeling, a wanting more of it. And of course, one way to combat that is to do it more, right? And more and more and more. So I think that is really what I want people to tune into and get an awareness around, because once you tune into it, you can see it a lot. And then when you begin to see it, you have, and if you keep the model of the balance in mind, I think it gives people kind of a way to imagine what they're experiencing on a neurobiological level and understand it. And in that understanding, get some mastery over it, which is really what this is all about. Because ultimately, we do need to disengage, right? We can't live in that space all the time, right? We have other things we need to do. And there are also serious consequences that come with trying to repeat and continue that experience or that feeling.
Yeah, so if I understand this correctly, when we find something, or when something finds us, that we enjoy, that feels pleasurable, social media, food, sex, gambling, whatever happens to be, we will explore the full range of these. There's some dopamine release when we engage in that behavior. And then what you're telling me is that very quickly, and beneath my conscious awareness, there's a tilting back of the scale where pleasure is reduced by way of increasing pain.
Right.
And I've heard you say before that the pain mechanism has some competitive advantages over the pleasure mechanism, such that it doesn't just bring the scale back to level. It actually brings pain higher than pleasure. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So what happens, again, so the hallmark of any addictive substance or behavior is that it releases a lot of dopamine in our brain's reward pathway. Like broccoli just doesn't release a lot of dopamine, just doesn't, right?
I'm trying to imagine. I was about to say maybe, and I stopped myself because no, broccoli's good. It can be really good, but Broccoli is never amazing.
Right. Broccoli's never
We're never
amazing.
like, this is the most amazing broccoli.
Honestly, we could probably find somebody on the planet for whom broccoli is amazing. And of course, if I'm starving, broccoli is amazing.
Rich
right?
Roll. Rich Roll is big on plants,
right.
and he has a good relationship to plants.
Right.
Rich, tell us how to make broccoli amazing. If anyone could do it, it'd be Rich.
Yeah.